Hello, my name is Kirioth, and today we are going to have a little chat about Warhammer Crime. So at last year's Black Library Weekender, they revealed that they were working on a new range of books and audio dramas, and that is Warhammer Crime. Sort of similar in the vein of Warhammer Horror, but crime-based, obviously. I have to say, I think that the Warhammer Horror stuff has been pretty good so far. There are some that I like more than others, but then that's true of every book series ever written by anyone, so not really something to complain about. But Warhammer Crime actually could be properly interesting in a different way, because a lot of the stuff, like a lot of the fiction, a lot of the books, a lot of the short stories, audio dramas, all of that stuff, are focused around those vast battles or hunts or, you know, Space Marine based shenanigans. I know there's plenty of stuff for Guard and Commissars as well, but when it comes to Warhammer 40k, most of the fiction, I think it's fair to say, is based around the superhuman, so to speak. Whereas there's not a huge amount about what you might class as the ordinary person. But for the edifice that is the Imperium to exist, there has to be literally hundreds of billions of ordinary people. And obviously just writing about ordinary people doing ordinary things, not going to be that exciting. But if you do something in the vein of a crime series or a thriller series or something along that line, that I think is a really good way to flesh out bits of 40k that you otherwise would not see. Which makes me quite excited about this. So the setup, I will read you the thing. I'll link the article in the description, of course. I don't know what, I can't talk today. I've tried to read this particular line about 4 times out loud and had to stop every time. It is the 41st Millennium. There we go. I kept saying 34st, which is not an actual word in any way. And far from the battlefields of distant stars, there is a city, a sprawling and rotting metropolis of ancient hives, where corruption is rife and murder a way of life. Already sounds pretty good. I'm going to totally mangle the pronunciation of this. This is Varangantua. That sounds actually like it might be right. Varangantua, yeah, sure. A decaying urban hellscape full of fading grandeur and ripe with squalor. Countless districts run like warrens throughout its cancerous expanse, from greasy dockyards and factorums to gaudy spires, decrepit slums and slaughterhouses, and looming over all the ironclad bastions of the enforcers, the upholders of the Lex, and all that stands between the city and lawless oblivion. I mean, it sounds pretty damn 40k already, but to be a citizen in this grim place is to know privation and fear, where most can only eke out a meagre existence, their efforts bent to feeding an endless war in the void they know nothing about. A few, the gilded and the merchant barons, know wealth, but they are hollow and heartless creatures who profit from suffering. Violence is inescapable on these benighted streets, where you are either a victim or a perpetrator. Whatever justice exists can only be found through brutality, and the weak do not survive for long, for this is Varangantua, where only the ruthless prosper. See, it's that kind of approach that I quite like. It's taking it down to a kind of, mostly, I assume, unaugmented human level, where you get to experience the horror and awfulness of the Imperium without needing chaos or or demons or orcs or tyranids, because it's just as shit. It's in a normal place. So there's a couple of books that that it's launching with. One by Chris Raitt, which I really like Chris Raitt's books, so that's good. Raitt, right? I always get your last name wrong. So there's Bloodlines, where a where a probator of the cities and forces is charged with locating the missing sign of a wealthy family, and knows that it's probably not going to go well. Again, pretty solid start, and obviously goes deep underground and finds all sorts of nasty hidden secrets, which I just really like. I just really like that sort of more human side of things, because you just don't see it all that much, I don't think. Not without the context of like vast conflict off-world, so to speak. And there's also an audio drama as well, which is a rattling sniper and an Ogrin. So that's going to be fun. Deserters turn thieves, so that should be interesting as well, especially an abhuman angle. That's kind of sounds fun too. So yeah, there's 2 titles to start, and then there's like an anthology of short stories, which is called No Good Men, and then there's Flesh and Steel by Guy Haley, where someone's got to work alongside the Adeptus Mechanicus to get to the bottom of a string of murders that that straddles Imperial and Martian territory. I actually really like the look of them, really do. That is as I say, there is an entire like subsection of Warhammer 40k and the Imperium especially that you don't get to see all that much. There might be a lot of stuff written about it, a lot of descriptive stuff, a lot of stuff talking about hive cities and like Necromunda specifically, and kind of the general living conditions, but there's a lot of what I would class as background, but not a lot of full story. So anything that brings more story into those situations, I'm all for, and I'm looking forward to this because, as I say, I do enjoy the Warhammer horror stuff. Some a bit more than others, but yeah, if it's the same quality, if it's the same standard, I will be very happy, and I'm looking forward to getting dug into something that's a bit different from the norm, I would say. So yeah, Warhammer Crime on the way, should be interesting, should be fun. I think Bloodlines will probably be pretty solid. So yeah, looking forward to that quite a lot. Let me know what you think of that in the description, in the comments down below. There's all the usual links and stuff in the description, including the affiliate link for Element Games, where you buy stuff using the link. I get something to send you that way. You save a bunch of money, between 15 and 25% off pretty much anything Warhammer related, and 10% of it goes to charity at the end of the month. So it's a nice way to support the channel. A little bit extra goes elsewhere. I leave it completely up to you. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.